Welcome back, everyone. It's time to dive back into the FrandsenFiles Compendium for part 5 of our deep dive.
All right.
And we're really getting into some fascinating territory now. Just a quick recap for anyone just joining us.
Right.
The Compendium, it's Dakota's personal collection of all things paranormal. His investigations, theories, even personal stories, all in one place.
All in one place, yeah.
And today, we're going beyond just the spooky stuff. We're looking at some deeply personal stuff, how it all connects to, well, some really big ideas, like AI, extraterrestrials, even the space industry.
It's wild. This is where it gets,
It does.
like, really interesting how it all kind of comes together.
It does. And you know what's really striking about these next few entries?
What's that?
Is how Dakota's personal life, it just weaves into his paranormal investigations.
Right.
It's not just about ghosts and demons anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's about, like, how these experiences, how they shape him, how they connect to the bigger picture of his life, you know.
I think that's what makes this so compelling, you know?
Right.
Because it's not just like, oh, this spooky thing happened over here, and this other spooky thing happened over here. It's like...
It's all connected to him.
It's all part of him, yeah.
Yeah.
Like entry, #41, the one taken away.
Oh, yeah.
This is where we meet Tori, Dakota's late fiance. And their story, it starts almost like a classic meet cute, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But with a really, really dark twist.
Yeah, much darker. Yeah.
Yeah. So they met online, right? In a support group for people dealing with PTSD, CPTSD.
Yeah, it's interesting how that shared trauma, right? That becomes so central to their relationship.
It's like the foundation, almost.
Yeah, it created this bond, you know, built on understanding. Yeah, exactly. Because they both had, like, incredibly difficult childhoods.
Right.
Marked by abuse and neglect, you know, and in each other, they found, I think, a safe space to share those experiences, to process the pain. Almost like two sides of the same coin, you know, drawn together by that shared darkness. And it's not just, you know, you have Dakota, seasoned bounty hunter, Tori, aspiring FBI agent.
Yeah.
They both understood that kind of grittier side of life.
Absolutely. Yeah, it wasn't superficial, right? It was this deep connection forged in trauma.
And that connection, it only got stronger when
Tori became pregnant, yeah,
with her daughter, Rose.
While also trying to escape an abusive ex.
Right. And Dakota, he wants to protect them, both of them, so he proposes.
It's a beautiful gesture, you know?
It is.
It's like this promise of a brighter future, this commitment. But then it's ripped away.
Yeah.
You know, Tori goes silent.
And then that news that Tori and Rose were murdered.
By the ex.
Yeah. Her ex, yeah. It's just it's a reminder of how much darkness is out there.
It's heartbreaking, you know, especially when they were trying to...
Escape it.
Yeah.
And... you can feel that emotion, that raw emotion in Dakota's writing.
You really can.
He doesn't shy away from it, the pain, the anger.
But there's this glimmer, though.
There is.
Amidst the grease, there's this glimmer of something extraordinary.
Yeah.
He finds Tori's journals.
Yeah, and they reveal not just her love for him,
but also these encounters with this mysterious figure.
the Lord of Shadows.
Yeah, the Lord of Shadows.
And this is where it starts to blur. You know, the line between personal and paranormal.
It does.
Because Dakota believes that Tori's spirit is still helping him in his investigations, even now.
Yeah, it's like she's this silent partner.
Yeah.
Using her knowledge, you know.
How police work.
Yeah, forensics.
Would guide him.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It does.
Is this like a literal interpretation of her spirit helping him?
Right.
Or is it like a way for him to cope? To feel her presence in his work.
Yeah.
It raises these huge questions about consciousness.
Grief. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the possibility of, you know, communication beyond death.
And it's a theme, this theme of working with a team of spiritual entities.
Yeah.
It comes up again and again in Dakota's work.
It does. Like, he's not alone.
He's not alone.
Yeah, he's got this network.
Yeah, spanning dimensions, time helping him unravel these mysteries. But it also makes you wonder, right?
About their motivations.
Yeah. Are they benevolent? Are they
just there to help, or do they have their
their own goals?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something to keep in mind as we go deeper. Now, get ready for a wild ride.
Okay.
Because entry, #42, Vapula Rising.
Oh, boy.
This is a college student tormented by a nasty one.
Yeah.
Demonic entity.
And what's interesting is that, like, it escalates.
It does.
It starts subtly, you
like
know.
a shadowy figure.
Right. Lurking.
Animals acting weird.
Mm-hmm. Like, strange.
Unexplained scratches.
Yeah, and then it just takes this terrifying turn.
It does. Vivid dreams.
Dreams that leave him with physical injuries.
Yeah. One time he wakes up with a gash on his arm.
Yeah, mirroring a wound from the dream.
Right, and this blurring of dreams and reality. It comes up a lot in paranormal stuff, you know.
It does. It suggests that maybe, like, consciousness isn't just limited
to the body.
To the body, yeah. That what happens in other realms, it can affect us here.
Yeah.
In the real world.
And Dakota, well, he quickly figures it out.
Yeah, he's a pro. He knows his stuff.
He does. It's Vapula.
Vapula.
Powerful demon from, like, ancient lore.
Known for his intelligence, yeah.
And cunning, too.
Very cunning.
And what's fascinating is how Dakota takes these personal experiences.
Yeah.
And puts them in this broader context.
Historical context.
Yeah, mythological.
It's not just an isolated thing.
Right.
He's drawing on, like, centuries of occult tradition, you know?
To understand it.
To understand these entities, yeah, their potential impact on us.
And then things get really intense.
Me too.
Dakota performs an exorcism, but this isn't like, you know, Hollywood.
No.
The Student. He's violent.
Spontaneous combustion, even.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Could this be, like, Vapula's connection to science?
Oh, interesting.
Energy manipulation.
Yeah, like it's described in those old texts.
Yeah, it's more than just possession.
It's like reality manipulation.
Yeah, yeah.
More questions than answers there.
It does.
But ultimately, Dakota expels Vapula, frees the student.
But the story doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
No.
The student, he learns that Vapula could return.
And he's terrified.
And he takes his own life.
It's tragic.
It is, and it highlights something really important, right?
About the human cost of these encounters.
It's not just about, like, getting rid of the entity.
Right.
It's about the trauma.
The fear.
The fear that lingers, yeah.
Yeah, even after the threat is gone, it can have devastating consequences.
And that's where, you know, you need that support. You need understand. Yeah, you need to help people navigate this stuff.
The emotional, the psychological.
It's a holistic approach.
It is.
You need the spiritual intervention, but also the psychological support.
Absolutely.
And a deep understanding of, like, how the mind works.
Yeah. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Because Vapula, apparently not one to just let things go, decides to pay Dakota a visit.
Oh.
And this demon doesn't mess around.
No, he does not.
Dakota describes him towering.
Lion-like.
Lion-like glowing red eyes.
Classic.
Lifts Dakota, who's a big guy.
Yeah, he's not a small dude.
Clean off the ground.
Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing. It's a nightmare.
And that description of, like, the physical form.
Yeah.
It suggests, like, materialization.
Yeah.
Like, energy becoming matter. But how is that even possible?
Right.
It's like, what are the mechanisms? Yeah. It's beyond our current understanding.
It is. So faced with this, Dakota calls upon...
Oh, he calls in the big guns.
The big guns, Archangel Michael. Yeah, divine intervention time.
And what follows is epic, right?
It is.
Blinding light, struggle, sounds of something unholy getting its butt kicked.
Like a cosmic smackdown.
And even his neighbor.
The neighbor sees it, yeah.
Sees the light, feels the house shaking.
It's like the ripple effect of these encounters. They affect everyone, not just those involved.
It's like a disturbance in reality itself.
Like a shockwave going out.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, are we all connected in ways we just don't get?
Maybe.
Can these experiences create ripples that go beyond our perception?
It's a big question.
It is. It is. Speaking of pushing boundaries, entry, #43, takes us to AI. Dakota's talking about using AI in paranormal investigations.
Which, you know, at first glance, it seems kind of out there.
It does. It does. But he's so forward-thinking.
He is.
He embraces new tech, you know?
He's like, how can we use this to understand the unexplained?
And it makes sense, right? We use AI for everything.
For everything.
From movies to, you know, diagnosing diseases.
Why not the paranormal, right?
Exactly.
It's just another tool.
And he has some pretty specific ideas.
He does.
He envisions 2 AI constructs.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah. Which stands for...
Supernatural Anomaly Research Assistant.
On DFORA.
Database for Omnipresent Research Assistance and Handling.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
So what do they do?
Well, Sarah,
yeah,
think of her as like a research partner.
Okay.
Analyzing data, identifying patterns.
Okay.
Maybe even predicting paranormal activity.
Based on
the environment
Oh, wow.
Historical data.
So it's like a super-powered research assistant.
Exactly.
Sifts through all that data.
Mountains of data.
And it points you in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah.
And DFRA.
DFRA is like this massive database of everything we know about the paranormal. Historical accounts, eyewitness testimonies, scientific research, religious texts, everything.
Wow, that's like having the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah.
But for the paranormal. That's amazing.
And he believes AI can manage all that information.
Yeah.
Connect the dots, find the patterns.
And knowing Dakota, he could pull it off.
He could. He's
already using AI in his company.
Bald and Bonkers network, yeah.
Graphic design, music production, even finance.
Yeah, he's not just talking about it.
He's doing it.
And
he draws this parallel between AI and the internet.
Right.
He quotes Eric Schmidt.
Oh, yeah. Something humanity built but doesn't fully understand.
And Dakota sees AI the same way.
Powerful tool, potential for good and bad.
So he's aware of the dangers, but also excited about the possibilities.
Yeah, he's got that balance.
And with Sarah and D4A, it's not just about research.
Right.
It's about educating people about AI.
So they can spot the misuse.
Especially when it comes to, like, faking paranormal evidence.
Right.
Which is so important now with deep fakes and all that.
It's crucial.
To know what's real.
Yeah, discern real from fake.
And if AI can help us do that?
It could be a powerful tool against deception.
It could.
Absolutely.
It's all about responsible use.
Yeah.
Critical thinking.
Dakota's work, it encourages us to engage thoughtfully with these technologies.
To think about the implications.
But also to recognize their potential.
Yeah, to expand our understanding of the world.
Both seen and unseen.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, get ready, because entry, #44.
Things are about to get cosmic.
We're going interstellar. It's human ET integrations.
Okay, buckle up.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Hold on to your hats, folks.
This is where his experiences and his fascination with the unknown meet some really interesting science.
They do.
He's talking about this biological merging
of humans and extraterrestrials.
Yeah, human and ET.
Wow.
And he draws on things like microchimerism.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
So microchimerism is this phenomenon where cells from one individual can reside in another. Like in pregnancies, fetal cells can stay in the mother's body for years.
Oh, wow.
Decades. And Dakota takes this further, right? He says, what if this exchange happened between humans and ETs?
Okay, so he's suggesting that alien DNA
could be present in some humans.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, and he connects this to the soul genetic connection.
Genetic connection.
Especially with what he calls starseed missions.
Starseed missions, what are those?
So starseeds are individuals who believe they have a soul origin.
Okay.
Not from Earth.
Not from Earth.
Yeah, and he suggests they might carry extraterrestrial DNA from past lives, or even deliberate manipulation.
Manipulation by
advanced alien civilizations.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
It is.
So we've got cellular exchange.
Alien DNA.
Soul travel.
It sounds like a movie.
It does.
But what's interesting is how he grounds this
in science.
In his own experiences. Yeah. It's not blind faith, it's connecting the dots.
It is, and he introduces these two major players.
Oh, yeah, in this cosmic drama.
The GFW.
Galactic Federation of Worlds.
And the Nebu Alliance.
The GFW are like the good guys, right? Advocating for harmony, peaceful coexistence.
Intergalactic peacekeepers.
Yeah, and they have this advanced tech, like med beds. That can cure diseases, reverse aging.
Just sign me up.
Right. Who wouldn't want that?
And the Nebu Alliance.
They're more ambiguous.
Okay.
Gray-like advanced tech.
But their intentions?
Less clear.
Okay, so you've got the good guys, the maybe not so good guys.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cosmic conflict.
And at the heart of it is hybridization.
The DNA merging.
Yeah, human and ET DNA.
And he even shares this past life recall.
Oh, yeah, where he's learning.
Using a med bed to help a woman.
Carrying a hybrid child.
With reptilian DNA.
It's wild.
It's like something out of a movie.
It is, but it raises questions about the future of medicine.
Yeah, the blurring lines of what even is human, what's alien.
Right.
But then there's a darker side of this, right?
Yeah, with the Nebu Alliance.
He claims they're implanting gray DNA into women.
Without consent.
Creating these hybrid offspring.
Potentially altered consciousness.
Or even soulless beings.
It's ethically concerning.
It is. It makes you wonder about the true nature of these encounters.
Right.
Are they all benevolent, or are some?
Not so much.
Not so much. And Dakota encourages us to keep exploring this, right? Approach the unknown with curiosity, but also skepticism.
A healthy dose of both.
Exactly. Speaking of skepticism, entry, #45, this is about how we perceive
the paranormal.
The paranormal, especially when it's filtered through pop culture. And Dakota argues we shouldn't be so quick to dismiss something just because it sounds like
a movie,
a TV show, a video game.
Because we use those references to describe the unknown.
Like how people described UFOs as flying saucers.
Yeah, drawing it on what they knew.
Does that make it less valid?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like describing a color you've never seen.
Right.
You have to use existing colors as a reference.
Even if it's totally unique.
Exactly.
And Dakota stresses, investigators should focus on
intent,
the consistency of the story.
Not whether it matches Ghostbusters or Stranger Things.
Be a detective first.
Yeah, look beyond the surface.
And speaking of good detectives, entry, #46.
Dakota's tests.
His 3 tests for competency.
To establish competency.
In paranormal investigation.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It is.
For anyone who wants to be taken seriously.
Right. It's about skills.
Critical thinking, resourcefulness.
Not just having the fancy equipment.
Or being a good storyteller, yeah.
You got to apply logic, research.
Skepticism.
The first test.
The skinwalker photo.
This is a classic, don't believe everything you see.
Right, you've got this photo, supposedly of a skinwalker.
Oh, yeah.
But you can debunk it pretty easily.
A little digging.
Yeah, and this highlights digital literacy.
Right, so important now.
With misinformation spreading online.
You got to verify. Use reverse image search.
Think critically.
The second test, the Snake River shark.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Takes us to Idaho, reports of a shark attack.
In the Snake River.
And anyone who knows their geography knows.
Sharks don't belong there. This tests local knowledge.
Ecology.
Common sense.
A good investigator would know it's probably a sturgeon.
Yeah, jumping out of the water.
And Dakota points out, sometimes authorities give those outlandish explanations.
To keep people away.
Yeah.
From sensitive situations.
Right, like a recovery effort after an accident.
It's a reminder not everything is what it seems.
And sometimes the simplest explanation
is the most accurate.
Even if it's not the most exciting.
Right.
The third test, the monkey cat.
This one's fun.
This one requires some digging.
Yeah, zoological knowledge, investigative skills.
So what is it?
Well, a competent investigator would figure out it's a kinkajou.
A kinkajou.
Yeah, an exotic pet.
Oh.
That probably escaped.
Interesting.
It shows the importance of considering mundane explanations.
Alongside the paranormal.
Don't jump to conclusions based on appearances.
Right. Those 3 tests, they really showcase Dakota's approach, right?
Yeah, critical thinking.
Research.
Challenging assumptions.
He's not just looking for the, wow.
He wants the truth.
Whether it's paranormal.
Or mundane.
Yeah.
And sometimes the mundane is pretty compelling once you dig into it.
It is. Okay, get ready for another turn.
Another one.
Because entry, #47, space exploration.
So slow.
Dakota's collaborating with the Arch Mission Foundation.
Who'd have thought?
Right?
It's unexpected but fascinating.
It is.
Shows his diverse interests.
It does?
He wants to explore where different fields intersect.
Like space and the supernatural.
Yeah, it's that open-mindedness.
It is.
The belief that seemingly unrelated things can connect.
Illuminate each other.
Yeah.
So what are they sending into space?
It's more than just a message.
Okay.
They've done these unique experiments, like sending Dakota's Walls of Eden sigil to space.
To space? Why?
To test its effects when exposed to lunar light.
Moonlight on the moon.
Yeah, he thinks moonlight could amplify it.
Amplify the sigils.
Protective qualities.
Wow, that's next level.
Is.
It's blending ancient symbolism with space tech.
And the results are pending.
Okay.
But it opens up questions.
Yeah.
Could extraterrestrial environments affect spiritual things?
Could there be a connection between planets?
And the energies behind paranormal stuff.
That's getting metaphysical.
It is.
But it doesn't stop there.
No, they also sent a sample of his DNA.
DNA to the moon.
To the moon.
Why?
He's investigating if quantum entanglement and increased radiation could affect his psychic abilities.
His DNA on the moon affecting his psychic abilities here.
It's a radical concept.
It is.
But he's pushing those boundaries.
He is. And to make sure his research survives.
For future generations, maybe even alien ones?
He's preserving his publications in space.
With the Internet Archive, yeah.
Imagine aliens finding that thousands of years from now.
Right. They'd think we're wild.
They would. Demon fighting, AI building, Psychic space travelers?
That's us.
That's us.
Apparently.
It's a humorous thought, but it shows his desire to contribute, right?
To our understanding of the universe.
Even beyond what we know now.
Yeah, pushing those limits.
Okay, let's circle back to Olivia.
The daughter from the future.
Entry, #48. The many moms in the Olivia paradox.
This is where he digs deep.
Into understanding her origins, yeah.
The paradox of her existence.
And his search for her mother takes us through his past relationships.
Yeah, like a whirlwind tour.
It is, it is.
Each woman is a piece of the puzzle.
A potential link to Olivia.
Yeah, we've got childhood crushes, past girlfriends, even a Parisian tour guide.
Wow, it's like a mystery novel.
It is.
And to make it even more complex, he uses AI to generate portraits.
Of what her mother might look like. Shared characteristics, synchronicities.
That's unconventional.
It is, but it shows he's willing to use anything to find answers.
So what did the AI come up with?
Well, one image looks a lot like his current partner, Elle.
But he met her after.
After the image was created.
So the AI predicted his future partner.
It's a mind-blowing coincidence.
It is.
Does that mean she's Olivia's mother?
We don't know.
The mystery remains.
Is it precognitive AI?
A bizarre coincidence.
Or something even deeper?
We don't know. The search continues.
It does. It does. We've gone on quite a journey through these entries.
We have.
The personal, the paranormal, the philosophical.
It's a lot.
It is. So what resonates most with you from his story?
Yeah, what sparks your curiosity?
What do you believe is possible?
Until next time, keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
And keep the conversation going. It's a lot to take in.
It is. It is.
But it's a journey worth taking.
It is. All right. Entry, #49. Alleged attempts to debunk Dakota Frandsen.
Ooh, getting a little personal here.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
Dakota confronts his critics head on.
He does.
And addresses all the skepticism and accusations that have come his way.
This is where we see that resilience, that strength of character.
We've seen his adventurous side, his intellectual curiosity. But here...
Yeah, it's the fighter.
He's a fighter.
Standing up for what he believes in.
Even when it's unpopular, yeah.
Especially when it's unpopular.
And one of the most common accusations.
Yeah, the classics.
Exaggerating.
For fame and fortune.
To fame and fortune, right?
You know, anyone with extraordinary claims.
They get hit with that.
Always.
So how does Dakota respond to that?
He emphasizes that his focus isn't on sensationalism.
Right.
Or self-promotion.
It's not about the clicks.
No.
The views.
So he wants to understand his own experiences.
Especially Olivia.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That mystery.
And to help others navigate the paranormal.
So he's not in it for the money or fame.
No, he's after the truth.
As he sees it, yeah.
As he sees it.
But then there are the accusations about mental health.
Right, even brain damage.
Those are serious claims.
They are.
How does he address those?
Head on. He acknowledges his struggles with depression stemming from his childhood, but he's adamant
that these don't invalidate his experiences.
They shape his perspective,
right? But
they don't explain away the paranormal stuff.
And he reveals that he underwent those psychological evaluations.
After learning about his grandmother's alleged schizophrenia.
Right, to rule out any genetic predisposition.
Yeah, he wanted to be sure.
And what were the results?
No signs of delusion, psychosis.
Mental instability?
None of that.
He also talks about the medical exams after his car accident.
The one where he saw his grandfather and Olivia.
The one where he should have died.
Yeah, miraculously survived.
And those reports showed?
No brain damage, no neurological abnormalities.
Right, so he's saying it's not a mental breakdown.
Or head injury.
He's backing up his claims with evidence.
Which is so important in this field.
It is.
You gotta have the evidence.
Whether it's medical records.
Eyewitness accounts.
Documentation.
He understands that burden of proof.
He does, but even with that, some people say he's hiding something.
Right, that classic.
That he's being selective with information to be mysterious.
Or manipulative.
And how does he respond to that?
He admits he's held back some details until he has enough evidence.
So he's waiting for all his ducks in a row.
Exactly.
He's being methodical.
Like a good investigator.
Which makes sense with his background.
He's applying those same principles to his own life.
To his experiences.
Treating them like puzzles to be solved.
But he also points out the irony.
Right.
That these critics who accuse him of secrecy.
They don't actually engage with his work.
They want all the cards on the table.
But they don't want to play the game.
They're not really interested.
It shows the challenge of real dialogue.
About controversial stuff.
You need open-mindedness on both sides.
A willingness to consider different perspectives.
Yeah, to challenge your own beliefs.
And then there's the pop culture comparison.
Oh, yeah, he's just copying movies and TV.
The stories are just rehashed tropes.
Right, and he handles this with humor.
He does.
He points out the coincidences.
Like with Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
The show he claims he didn't watch until later.
But he has a family connection to Samuel Colt.
The real Samuel Colt.
The gun maker.
Who made the gun featured in the show.
Life imitating art, imitating life.
It's wild, right?
It is.
Makes you wonder about synchronicity.
Those weird alignments between fiction and reality.
Are they random or is there something more?
A connection between us and the collective imagination.
It's a question for the ages.
It is. It is. And then there are the accusations of scams.
Financial impropriety.
He's collaborated with a lot of people.
And some of those collaborations have been scrutinized.
And Dakota addresses this directly.
Emphasizing his morals.
His willingness to walk away from unethical behavior.
Even with former collaborators.
He's not afraid to cut ties.
To protect his integrity.
Even if it hurts his reputation.
He knows trust is everything in this field.
It's a reminder that character matters.
Especially when you're dealing with the paranormal.
And the potential to influence others.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's wrap things up with entry. #50.
Bald and Bonkers Network Academy.
This is where his entrepreneurial side
meets his passion for education.
He believes in accessible learning.
Empowering people regardless of background or finances.
And he's created this platform with diverse courses.
Business, marketing, creative writing, personal development.
It's eclectic, but it reflects him.
It does.
And of course, he's got the supernatural courses too.
Sharing insights from the compendium.
For those who want to go deeper.
It's a space to explore, develop skills, connect with others.
A community-driven approach to learning.
Something that's often missing.
In traditional settings.
He's creating a safe space to explore.
Unconventional ideas.
Challenge assumptions, share experiences.
Without judgment.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the FrandsenFiles Compendium.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
What resonates most with you from Dakota's story?
What sparks your curiosity?
What do you believe is possible?
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep the conversation going.
It's a space for growth, for learning.
Yeah, and it seems like Dakota's always growing, always learning himself.
He is, constantly pushing those boundaries.
And that brings us to our final entry for today.
Entry #50.
The future of the paranormal.
This is where he looks ahead.
He speculates on what the future holds for this field, for him.
And he starts by addressing the elephant in the room, so to speak.
AI.
AI, yeah. He acknowledges that it's going to play a huge role.
In everything, not just the paranormal.
Right. It's already changing the world as we know it.
And he sees both the potential and the peril.
The potential for amazing discoveries, but also for deception, manipulation.
Right. And he stresses the importance of being discerning, of using critical thinking.
Of not just accepting everything we see and hear.
Especially when it comes to things like, AI-generated evidence.
Fake videos, audio, images, all of that.
It's going to get harder and harder to tell what's real.
It is. And that's why education is so crucial.
Yeah, knowing how to spot the fakes, how to verify information.
And that's where his academy comes in.
Right. Equipping people with the knowledge and the tools.
To navigate this new landscape.
And it's not just about AI. He also talks about the growing interest in the paranormal.
Yeah, more and more people are open to these ideas now.
Especially younger generations.
They're less afraid to question, to explore.
And Dakota sees this as a good thing, a sign that we're moving beyond the old paradigms.
Breaking free from those limiting beliefs.
And embracing a more expansive view of reality.
And he believes that technology is going to play a big role in this shift.
Yeah, things like VR, AR, even biofeedback devices.
They can create immersive experiences, help us connect with other realms.
Or even enhance our own psychic abilities.
It's blurring the lines between the physical and the metaphysical.
It is. It is. And he talks about the importance of collaboration.
Of scientists, researchers, and practitioners working together.
Sharing knowledge, data, and experiences.
To truly understand the paranormal.
Not just from a spiritual perspective.
But also from a scientific one.
And he believes that this kind of collaboration, it's going to lead to some breakthroughs.
Yeah, discoveries that could change the world as we know it.
And he ends with a call to action, right?
He does, a challenge to his readers, to the listeners.
To be open-minded, to be curious, to not be afraid to explore the unknown.
To be the pioneers of this new era.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the FrandsenFiles Compendium.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
It has. It has. We've gone from personal tragedies to AI, extraterrestrials, space exploration, the future of the paranormal.
It's a lot.
It is. It is. And it's a testament to Dakota's,
his boundless curiosity.
His willingness to challenge conventions.
His unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit.
To explore, to understand, to connect with something greater than ourselves.
And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is. It is. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, keep pushing those boundaries.
And keep believing in the impossible.
Because as Dakota has shown us, the impossible might just be a little closer than we think.